Hello friends and welcome to a replay review speed run. I'm going to show you how this Jakiro, Divine Jakiro, loses his lane within 2 minutes and does not realize it. Now, I want you all to be able to identify this opportunity because it can happen at any rank, but for this Jakiro and for any Divine player trying to make your way into Immortal, it's very important to be able to identify these kind of opportunities, and I want you to have a sense of urgency about them as well. You sent me a little analysis about like things you think you did right and wrong, and I agree with everything you said. I'm not even going to talk about it, but what I found more telling is you didn't even mention this at all, and this is a big mistake. I'm not going to say like I would never make this mistake, but at least when I went back to the replay review, I would know to look for it and identify, hey, that's where I screwed up. That's a pretty big issue. So the fact that you didn't like recognize it in the game or recognize it in the replay review tells me like this is a gap in your knowledge and we're going to fix that. And for any of you in the lower brackets, that's like it's still going to be there. The same opportunity and being able to identify it, capitalize on it, it'll matter. Now, I'm not just like bluffing for time, filling stuff here. This is all critical to the game. Right now, key information has already been given that determines how I'm going to be playing the lane. And a lot of people don't take this time seriously. A lot of people are still sitting in the fountain right now. It drives me crazy. But the game has started the second you queued into the draft, right? And as soon as you load in here, there's information that is happening and you need to absorb it to figure out how you're going to play the lane. So here, this, I don't care so much about actually. You could not dual breath this guy, save some mana. It's not really a huge deal. You can do a little bit harass to tilt the mid lane in your favor, sure, whatever. This part, you're already screwing up. You would never find a sentry here. Do you guys know why? Let's get back to it in a little bit. You look around, like I said, found nothing. Hey, there's a Slardar here. He's already messed up equilibrium. You identified that this should be a good matchup for you guys, and you identified a good start, but I disagree. This is a terrible start. This is horrendous. How did this happen? Do you know why? I'm not even just talking about Slardar. This is a 2v1. You know this already. They showed on the bottom of the minimap. There's 3 heroes down here. For some reason, they're trying to tri-lane in the worst possible combination ever, and you knew that from the very beginning. You didn't know they were going to tri-lane, but I knew there was nothing going to be here. Why? Your Lycan sent out wolves to scout the enemy side, and we see Ancient Apparition and Slardar. You guys smoked and cut in through this way. Let's keep watching these wolves. If you clicked Ancient Apparition, you would see he has an Observer and Sentry still, and then with these wolves, we also saw Warlock and Faceless Void, and then Ember is mid. What that tells me, combined with the fact that you guys ran this way and the timing of everything when we saw them, no one came top and then made their way bottom. They just would not have had time to do that. And if no one has been top, that means there's no way this camp is blocked at the start, especially because you're still up here, and then you walked up. This is as soon as people could have teleported right here, right? So if the 4 support wanted to make a play bottom and then TP up here to try to come block the camps, that would be happening right now. The TP would complete now, and then they'd be walking over here. So by the time you check this camp, there's no physical way that any hero could have been up here. So you're already wasting a sentry, and you're wasting time looking around this camp, not being in the lane right away to figure out if it's going to be a 2v2, 2v1 situation. Now, most of the time, I wouldn't expect a 2v1, but you should be in the lane right away to prevent this sort of stuff, which is him creep aggroing. You should already be here kind of harassing this Slardar, and when you see him do this aggro, you respond to it. You either aggro them forward or aggro them backwards as well. Either way, but instead, you kind of do it by accident. It wasn't really intentional, and it splits the creeps. So you have 3 creeps on your ranged, and you only have 2 melee on your ranged, and the other one's back here. He also did it first, so he already has the advantage, and this just should not be allowed. Now, at the same time, this is when you would look bottom and see that Ancient Apparition and Warlock are both down here. Now, this is the hard part, and this is the part I would also slip on, which is like having the map awareness to be like watching the minimap at this phase of the game. But you should also be like, where's the other support? And you should be kind of looking for him, either here, like keeping your eye out, or checking on the minimap. And it's also where teammates, you should be communicating this, like Lycan should be saying, there's 3 people down here. That's an issue for him, but it's also an opportunity up here. It should immediately change the way Jakiro is playing, which is like, okay, I don't want to go like too crazy because like I don't know where the other support is and I don't want to extend too far and then like die 2v1. But the second you know there's only one offlaner, and if you click him, he only has 2 tangos where you have way more regen on Jakiro. Jakiro should make a beeline for this Slardar, and he should not allow Slardar to be anywhere near here. Instead, just kind of like dilly-dallying here. You are hitting creeps, and like that's kind of good, but Slardar is getting XP. He's already pulled the equilibrium in his favor through this. Why are you backing off? Why aren't you like right next to Slardar right now with these 2 creeps? Why aren't you hitting him and burning out his regen? Oh my god, look, it's Slardar. That should be you. You should have this sense of urgency and immediately jump at the opportunity to start capitalizing on it. But I don't feel like you gathered the information, so you didn't recognize this as an opportunity, and then like we're just kind of totally letting it go by. Hephaestus, watch out. It's Slardar. Another case of that is right here. When AA has joined the lane, you kind of got posturing, and AA turns a tree and is right next to you. Oh wow, it's Ancient Apparition. That needs to be you. The second this guy walks up this close to you as a Jakiro, you should immediately blow your spells on this guy and even call SF to possibly come and fight this guy. Now in a pub, that may not happen as much. But if I was playing in a party, I'd be like, come kill this guy. I'm going to dual breath, blood grenade, and you walk over and you hit the longest range raise, and you can choose if you come up for further raises and try to get the kill. Maybe we don't kill him, but he should drop down to like 100 health, and this guy does not have a salve. He does not have that much regen. It's going to take him a long time to tango up. The follow-up kill will be there, or the 2v1 on the Slardar. But instead, you're kind of like slow to identify it. You auto attack a couple times. Then you kind of recognize like, oh damn, this trade's pretty good. Now I'm going to dual breath. But it's very different at this point. Ancient Apparition is over here instead of over here. It's much further now, and I'd say impossible for Shadow Fiend to join this fight. Whereas for Slardar, it's just as easy as it was like when it was over here. But you identified it a few seconds late, and that's a big deal at this point. And so you overcommit, you chase too far. That baits Shadow Fiend to come up and try to get this kill, but the opportunity is gone at this point because he's no longer affected by dual breath and the blood grenade, so he's not slowed. It takes a long time for Shadow Fiend to get up here and try to hit this raise, and has now put him out of position, and now Slardar is going to get a pretty good trade on him by like bashing him up, stunning him, all of this. So you guys ended up losing this trade by going out of position, and actually I think you guys pick up this kill on Slardar. But it's very close. Look how much health you both lost, and then you kill Slardar, Ancient Apparition barely lives. But it really should not have been like this at all. It should have been almost a completely free trade to get 500 health off this AA when he walked right next to you. And then after that, I feel like you're not really punishing this Ancient Apparition who has 2 creeps following him. He's low health, you're low health, but I mean, you have more stats, you have more regen, like just keep tangoing up and chase this guy. You do have to be a little careful of the 6 stick charges, I guess, but he has Ice Vortex and Chilling Touch. Like there's no way this guy kills you before you kill him. So I don't feel like he should be able to get this XP. Like you guys give up this range creep for free, which you should be here getting at the least, and you should just be like attacking this Ancient Apparition, because as soon as this creep dies, both of your creeps are going to run at him. Instead, we're letting this like 100 health AA deny a range creep, and then pull these creeps back, 2v1, low health, establish equilibrium for his lane. Like, this is a huge issue. You identified that this is supposed to be a strong matchup, but then you also ask, why did it feel bad when SF fell a little bit behind? Like, what happened there? It feels bad because that's not supposed to happen if you have a strong matchup. So we've identified 3 things that you could have done better to prevent that from happening and actually capitalize on having a strong matchup, right? Not letting this guy 2v1, not letting an AA walk point blank into our face, not letting this low health AA now get away with denying and getting farm and equilibrium, right? We're not supposed to let any of that happen.
I can't believe that Jakiro's in Divine. I would never make this mistake.
If you don't make this type of mistake, that's fine. Everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. We have identified one for this Jakiro, and he'll become a better player for it. If you need help identifying your own weaknesses, maybe drop by the Wednesday replay analysis streams and I can help you find some. Thank you for watching. I'll see you there.